So once you go live, then I can hit go live.
It's gonna turn green.
Now hit it.
Yep. Yep.
Woo! Woo! Look, I just been keeping my poise. Made by the million, but still unemployed. They text me about green, but not on Android. She not my shawty, she filling the void. I make the sounds that cut through the noise. He think he a man, but he chillin' with boys. Put down the liquor, start drinking LaCroix. The pain wasn't choice, but now I rejoice. My uncle had told me that I was the one. I played the shit smart, now my bread getting dumb. Lil' shawty had hit me, said she wanna come. Her dresses is black, but she not a nun. I'm so Pasadena, cause that's where I'm from. Some bangers, some hoes, some with guns. They scheming for riches, they playing it numb. I'm second to wins cause I'm second to none. Look.
Hey, we live.
We live here. We live.
And we're not. Wait, so was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, okay. So we going? All right. So all right. Alrighty, my bad. I wasn't ready for that one. Welcome back. Gerard, you got to get it together, man. This is your second time messing up my introduction, man. So you gotta have to talk after this, brother.
Bro, you got to be a chameleon out here, man. You got to be able to shake and move.
All right, just go ahead and see me in my office after this. No problem. Hey, welcome back to Secure the Bag podcast, where four entrepreneurial cousins turn money talk into real talk. I'm your host, Mike Evans, joined by my cousins, Gerard Gibson, the man that's messing up everything on my introduction, Jason Benton, and King Darvish Bay. We're here to break down the bag, the business, and the blueprint without all the corporate confusion. Now let's listen. Now listen, they just announced a 50-year mortgage. Yes, 50, meaning some of y'all might be paying off your house longer than your kids' student loans. And if that's not wild enough, Fannie Mae just said, forget the credit score, we're going to figure it out. So tonight we're diving into both, what it really means for entrepreneurs, employees, and anyone trying to build wealth in 2025. Buckle up, because if you thought paying off a 30-year mortgage was a long time, this new plan might have you sending payments through retirement. Let's get into it. Welcome to Secure the Bag. Fellas, how y'all doing? Yo, what's up?
What's going on,
fellas? King, come on. You just said bring some energy, man. What's going on? What's up, man? How you doing today, my brother?
He turned into Cool King real quick.
Everything is beautiful, man. Just glad to be here, man. Life is great, man. Life is beautiful, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First, I want to say, to everybody except Gerard, happy Veterans Day. Gerard was at home while we was out there fighting the war.
Hey, look, I was definitely living off of the benefits y'all help provide, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
You're welcome, man. Don't worry about it.
We do what we can for you, Gerard. Our life is dedicated to make sure you survive.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Fellas, any news, any updates y'all want to drop? Just bring it back. We do have the website for Secure the Bag. Check that out, securethebagpodcast.com. Don't forget to go up there and send that to your family, your friends, anybody you know who is looking to get this information, man. Check us out. Definitely, you can read more about us. There's a detailed bio on each individual person that's here on the podcast, so you go read about more of our history, what we do, what we came here for, and what we're looking to achieve in the future as well. Anything else y'all need to drop on the people?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say the same exact thing.
Okay.
Check out the website. We got more coming soon, but the website is going to give you a lot of information on how we're moving forward. So make sure you check it out.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's jump into the topics today, man. Fellas, let me ask y'all, who do y'all really believe is trying to have a mortgage longer than their actual life expectancy sometimes? Like, who really think that a 50-year mortgage is the way to go?
So I'll let them go first, because it's a lot to unfold. I had time to take the weekend and the last few days to literally look at it, to run some numbers to see if it makes sense, for most people. And I have a bunch of different perspectives on, the pros and cons of it for everybody. And it's another tool. It was the same thing with the 30-year. Years ago, when the 30-year came in, they were like, why do a 30-year? It don't make any sense. One of the things I was telling one of my boys, I was talking to him about, I was like, listen, bro, because you don't like the person giving the information, Don't discard the information because it might be actually something good if you do the research. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It might be something that makes sense for people, but it's really only going to it's really going to depend on where you're at and what you're looking to do and your circumstances. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, and I don't know if y'all know this, but the root word in mortgage means to the death.
To
So,
die.
so even if it's a 30-year mortgage, a lot of people may not survive their 30-year mortgage. So you got a 50-year mortgage. I wouldn't look at it that way either. Um, I'm pretty sure, I kind of got an idea where Jason's going to go with this, but the statistics show today that the average person only stay in their home for 7 to 10 years. Yeah, somewhere between 5. Some people say 5. You know
Five
what
to
I mean?
10.
Like we shaking and moving in this generation, and we 5 to 10 years, right? But the problem with the 50-year mortgage, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into, is that you're not gonna build equity as fast. So the retail buyer that is paying retail price might not get that equity that they need in 5 to 10 years. It's really going to depend on the market, and how things move. The cool thing is that with the 50-year mortgage, you are creating more affordability when it comes to pre-approvals, right, Jay?
Yep.
Right. So if you create more more affordability, more buying power for the buyers, the idea is that more buyers will be in the market, and then we'll be right back to crazy bidding wars. But you're just not going to build the equity as fast. That's what I got out of it.
Listen, man, we're in trouble, man, as a nation. I feel like we're in trouble. 50 years. Some people buying houses at 50. So me personally, I like when you get into buying property, become a homeowner, you thinking like how to pay the house off in 30 years, right? Like, that's what people have been thinking. But it's always been my goal to pay it off before that. But now I'm learning the goal is to not pay it off, man. How they say it? Buy, borrow, die, and then like have your life insurance pay off the houses and different things like that.
Leverage the debt.
Yeah, so my goal even with this right now is to just buy as many producing assets as I can and let them pay off themselves and don't really worry about the debt. You know what I mean? You like let the equity build, or you do a cash out refinance or different things like that, and use that money to get more. So that's where I stand with it. I feel like it's gonna create a lot of more buyers, but I feel like in the end it's gonna hurt people. Like that's what I think.
So 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 when I broke everything down, I went into my loan officer mode and I did like a prequal. So I compared the 50 year versus the 30 year. And when you're looking at it, the savings is not, let's say it's not going to save you $1,000 or whatever, for let's say a 400, $500,000 home, is even less savings the lower the house. But what it does do, if you're on the borderline, some people, 100 to 150 bucks, $200 a month for debt to income ratio purposes, it can help more people qualify. That extra 20 years amortized over that extra 20 years, it definitely will be a big impact in somebody qualifying, right? So that's definitely a pro. Another thing also, it's a win because it will allow more people into the market to qualify. And when we talk about the equity, this is very important because I was listening to a podcast and a guy kept saying this, and I was like, man, I say this all the time. You can't look at it as if you're in a small market, right? Because here in Miami, like I tell you, it's like 7 to 8 different markets just in the state of Florida and Miami. We don't have the equity problem. So if you get the 50, 60, 100-year mortgage, you're not going to probably you're not going to be knocking that principal down that much, but you're definitely going to be building equity in the home. So you're still going to get that top. I always say it's two things, right? Whenever you're buying a home, and you buy a home and you pay it off, you gain equity, right? Two ways. You gain equity by the value increasing, and then you gain equity by the actual payments you make. So now you're paying down that principal. That gap in the middle is where your equity lies, right? So it's not as bad as what people are making it out to be. To be honest, it's just another tool, right? You can still do a 30-year. 50-year, it's a 40-year out. Like you could do a 40-year amortization. It's just another tool to use to be able to make it make sense for you. Now, I tell everybody when you're buying a home, and it goes against some people's the way they sell, but I don't buy a home looking at a 30-year mortgage. You're not going to beat it for 30 years. And I won't even say you won't beat it for 30 years. You won't have the same mortgage for 30 years. Because for between 5 and 7 years, you're probably going to refinance again, unless you have what we had during right after the crash 2011, 12, 13, 14, where we have like 2% or less than 2% interest rates where you're never going to refinance. Right, we're probably not going to get back to that ever again, but we're definitely going to probably be in the threes, mid threes, high threes, depending if you want to buy your rate down. So I just think it's another tool that people should look into, see if it makes sense. It might not even come out. It might not even might not even pass to actually hit the products that the lenders offer. But I do think it's a tool that can make sense for some people, especially for investors. It'll give you an ability to get into the home, and then everything after that you can figure it out on your own. But I do think before you get into it, you should ask a lot of questions. You should run scenarios, run numbers, and make sure it makes sense for you and your family. And also ask for the amortization schedule for it. Lenders can pull that up for you, and you can compare that 30-year to that 50-year and see if it makes sense for you. Because most loans you don't even start touching principal until year 13, 14.
Well, and that was a question I was going to ask you is it true that on a 50-year you're paying way more interest than you would on a 30-year?
I won't say way more, but it's riskier because the terms are longer, right? The terms are going to be longer. So it's like getting a 25-year or 20-year mortgage now, right? It's good. The rates are lower for the lower term because it's all risk. It's all based on risk.
I don't mean the interest rate in terms of the rate. I mean how much interest I'm actually going to be paying because I got more payments. So when you look at the amortization schedule, am I going to? So let's just say on a
correct
you get what I'm saying? 300,000 on a 30-year, I might pay 70,000 in interest.
So for that, yes,
right.
It's significant over a 20-year period, but we just said it. Nobody has their home for 50 years. Nobody even have the same mortgage for 30 years, right? You will play around. You will make it make sense. Even if you did have your home for 50 years and you could have that lower, just imagine the rates go to 3%. Now you can get a 50-year amortization, right? You get a 50-year loan. Now that payment is even $200-300, depending on how high you're purchasing a home. You get an extra $200-300 off that payment, right? I mean, that's a win, right? Now you got that home, regardless of how long it is. Like King just said, most people don't want to pay their homes off anyway, right? Take that extra money, you're going to make the extra payment, put it into an investment account, some type of account, right? You can make more interest doing that than actually paying your home off. And now you have that money working for you, and now you have that lower payment. So as your income goes up and as things happen in life, you pretty steady, right? As long as them taxes and that insurance don't get too crazy, you're pretty good with that lower payment, if that makes sense for you. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. You got to really sit down and make it make sense. As I thought about it, like I was saying over the weekend, I'm like, man, that will make sense for a lot of people who don't plan on ever paying their home off, right? They have that write-off every year, whatever. So yeah, especially in Florida, they talking about eliminating taxes once you own your home. That might be another situation where you're like, I don't want no 30, I don't want a 50-year mortgage. I want to pay off my home as quick as possible so I can eliminate my property taxes. So it's really a situation to where I think a lot of people didn't really do their proper research before coming out and giving an opinion, which everybody wants to give an opinion, right? As soon as they hear something, they don't even do the research, they give their opinion. And as you think about it, you're like, you know what, that's not a bad thing. It'll open more doors for us. Like you said, it can cause another issue where prices are going to increase. So if the prices increase, that extra $200-300 that you're going to save is going to be even more of a luxury at that point. So you can afford the homes. You can have more clients being able to afford, so they don't, so you don't have a market where nobody can afford, and our livelihoods will be on the will be on the line. Then we don't got nobody can afford a home.
Last year, when the market was kind of slow, and a lot of people were talking about there's no inventory and da da da. I had a slogan. My slogan was, "The buyers are outside." I was saying that all year. The buyers are outside, but I can tell you with a 50-year mortgage, they're coming back outside. They're gonna be outside.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some shaking and moving if they get that 50-year mortgage. And then there's other things that I'm sure we're gonna touch base. The real estate market is changing right before our eyes right now.
Oh, big time, bro.
So Gerard, let me ask this question, man, because you said you just what you're saying, talking about more people coming out, more buyers coming out. What does that actually look like? Like, what does a conversation look like when having to discuss this, though? Like, I know we're kind of hitting some of the points now, but like, would you even advise someone to take a 50-year mortgage?
Listen, everybody's situation is different. It's gonna be up to that person. You know what I'm saying? I always, go to your lender and see what options are there, and then just figure out what's the best way to move for you. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, but your situation might be totally different from the next person. But a lot of people are budget conscious. So when you are, when you look at the numbers, I'm looking at a $2,800 mortgage versus a $2,500 mortgage. Like, you know what I mean? It just might make sense. You know what I'm saying? Or Jason, I don't know how far along this thing is. I think it's really just kind of hearsay right now, but we don't know what it's going to look like. What's the terms on that 50-year mortgage? Is it only going to apply to first-time home buyers, or is it open for everybody? You know what I mean? There's still a lot to figure out. Will you get a higher interest rate or a lesser interest rate, for going with a 50-year mortgage? So you got to get with your lender, get some scenarios and just see how you fit in, and then take it from there.
Let me tell you, what's funny? So I have a variety of different type of buyers. So I got people who do 20-year mortgages, and they think everybody who do a 30-year is crazy. I got people, I got a lot of buyers who come in and say, why would you put the minimum payment down? It makes absolutely no sense. They're putting 15, 20, 30. I have a guy, we done about 4 investment properties the past 2 months. He put 50% down on every investment property. So it really all depends on your situation, because some people think 30 years is crazy, Like, why would you get a 30-year? Just do a 15. You pay it off for 15 years instead of 30. Now I have a house paid off, and I'm only 45, or I'm only 50. You know what I mean? I'm only 55 or 60. Now, before I even retire, I have my house paid off. So I have less debt or blah, whatever, moving forward. But it really all depends on the situation. And you really have to just see
Jay, could you pass me a water?
Your family, what works for you and your family. And also just really consider, don't get too caught up in different things. Just really consider what the long-term effects or the short-term effects are for you and your family. And then you make the choice that's best for you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like y'all just said something there that kind of stood out of my mind, where it's like, you asked the question, or the guy asked the question, why would people put down the minimum? I think because sometimes, like, we're almost programmed to think like that's all we need is the minimum to put on the house. Or like, it's like, hey, I just need the easiest way to go get it. And if the minimum is the minimum, then that's all I'm going to do, just to make sure I do what I got, just to get and acquire the property that I need. So trying to, like, especially if you aren't in those conversations of hiring your expectations, you're going to go for the bottom, or you're going to make it last the longest in order to save the most amount of money right now versus thinking for the long term. So that makes a lot of sense.
I think, what I think it is, Mike? I think there's no plan. Like, I'm telling you, like some customers, oh my God, Jason talks too much. He's over. I'm like, no, I'm telling you what you should be at. The question, I'm giving you the answer to the question before you ask the question. Because I don't want to get to closing or a year later you say, "Oh, my loan officer sucks." Oh, because I hear that all the time. They're coming to me, "Oh, my loan officer sucked. They didn't tell me blah blah." I'm like, I'm pretty sure they told you this. You was so busy listening to the realtor, trying to buy the home. Everybody wanted to close the deal, and I'm pretty sure your loan officer gave you, this information, and you
Yeah.
just ignored it. So even during the crash, right? I was in the crash, right? Oh wait, I was in the industry back then, right? Gerard, be quiet, bro. Like you always smirking every time I say I was in the market back then.
Who you
But
talking
check
about,
it,
Gerard?
yeah, Gerard, man, he left.
He didn't even say nothing.
I see it on his face. But even back then, when people were doing these loans, they knew exactly what they were getting into.
Yeah.
People just don't want to listen to the information being put out there. Not everybody, but most people, right? So when you're asking these questions and they're trying to explain to you, just make sure you're locking and you're listening. You got your notepad and you're literally taking notes so you understand what you're getting into. And I think that's an important piece that a lot of us don't really push for enough is to really beat the customer in the head and say, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, listen to what I'm saying to you." Because you'll say so. We'll have a conversation. I'll do a consultation and I'll get into detail and I'm breaking it down and I'm doing all this. And then 2 weeks later, something happened. He never told me that. That's why I'm like, no, every time I do a consultation, the realtor is on the line now. The initial consultation, the realtor's on the line because they will tell you that you didn't tell them because they're not locked in and paying attention to what's going on. And I think that's where the issue can fall in. But I mean, 50 years, I mean, you're saving an extra couple $100. You might be able to get into that, move to another neighborhood that you want to live in.
Yeah.
50 years, huh?
To kind of piggyback off of that and give you a different aspect, Mike, is I do notice a lot of people aren't buying for strategy. There's a lot of people that are buying out of, I don't want to say desperation, but like necessity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are buying because they have to.
Yeah.
The rents are ridiculous, right? A lot of landlords, multifamily homeowners, or these apartments, these rentals are cashing in on this market because everything is up. So when they cash out, the 9 times out of 10, the tenant that's in there got to move. And then you get these tenants that are tired of having to move every time their landlord decide to sell, or, and then you've been in a place for so long, now you got to move and you go to Zillow and it's like sticker shock because this ain't what it looked like when I got in this place, right? If I'm gonna pay these prices, I might as well buy. Like this is where a lot of the buyers are coming from, and they're nobody's prepared to put 20, 30, 40% down. You get what I'm saying? I was just looking for an apartment and I ended up here. You see what I'm saying? So, everybody's situation is different. There are a lot of people out there that have strategically planned, like, I'm putting this money away, in this account for me to purchase my house. I saved up $100,000 and, fine, they're ready. But there are a lot of people that are just buying because they just have to. And a lot of times those people might not have that 20%. They're going for the minimum because they got to get in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, King.
I want to add to what Gerard said. He's right. They're not even thinking about saving that money. You said 100,000, and they still gonna put 10%. They still gonna put 10,000 down, even though they got 100,000 over here. They could have got a four family and put whatever percent down. And like you said, a lot of people don't go into purchasing a home to do it with strategy. They don't have a plan. They just go to get more room or to not pay a landlord's mortgage, or because they're arguing with their neighbor about a parking spot, or they don't have a backyard, or all these different things like that. They're not looking to oh, I'm gonna buy this asset that's already producing income every month, and then I could possibly use this asset to get the house that I really want. Like, you know what I mean? They're not looking at it like that. And I feel like if everybody changed their mindset, even like we always say, come together, get with the family, get with your brothers and sisters, and figure out how y'all can live together and split the bills and all those different things. And then everybody can have a three family
Right.
if they do it right,
Right.
if they have a plan. But it's like we're the only people who really want to just do it on our own, say, oh, I got a house, you don't, or whatever, instead of really teaming up, being family how we used to be, and we help everybody get to the next level. And before you know it, in like, 5 to 10 years, everybody got their own three family, everybody's living for free, everybody's saving the mortgage money because like just because somebody else is paying your mortgage, that's still not your money. You should still be putting that money up. The same amount of money that you would have been paying for your last rent or whatever, or for your mortgage, put that same amount of money up every month. And at the end of the year, you still got reserves just in case something happens, somebody a furnace go or somebody move out or whatever. And you could do it like that, but you'll always be ahead. But people don't think like that.
Yeah, it's it's a situation to where we look at social media so much, right? And this is very important. We look at social media so much, and we're hearing, "Oh my God, these people have 4 or 5 different properties. Investors are killing it." But it's something that they're not telling you. They're not buying retail. They're buying wholesale and fixing the properties up and
Right.
refinancing the properties, taking the money out, and still making profit on the
Right.
rent. You
And
buy
repeating it.
retail, it's going to be harder for you to make profit in most places now. So when you're looking at this, so you have people who they buy retail, they go, oh, I could buy retail, the least amount of money out of my pocket. I got 3 or 4 properties. It's something with that. If you don't have enough money stashed or any savings or any investments that you can pull cash from, God forbid COVID happens and you lose your job, you're most likely going to lose all those properties. One, your margins are tight. If the people you're renting to, right, your tenants, they have some issues. Now you can't afford those payments. Now you're talking about $2,500 a pop. It becomes an issue. So that's where I think education comes, because it's not the way of people perceiving it, because they're not getting the information. They're thinking, I have these people have 20 doors, but they're buying them retail. No, they got 20 doors because it makes sense for them, because they're buying wholesale, fixing it up, and doing the burst strategy. So they're able to still make a huge profit, still have a low monthly payment, and take
Right.
that money out to purchase other properties. And that's where we go wrong sometime, because we don't ask enough questions on how are these people doing it. And when they say, hey, I didn't have cash, I bought the first house or whatever, yeah, they did it like that. But they're not buying every property retail. It just doesn't make any financial sense.
Nah.
It's not too expensive up front. It's too expensive down the road. God forbid if something financially happened to you or your family, you can't afford the houses no more, because there's no equity, right? Because you bought at the bare minimum, which it depending if you do the 4-3-2-1, buy a quad, buy a tri, buy a duplex, buy a single family, and you buy everything at the highest LTV, that can cause a problem, and that's not spoken about enough. That can cause a problem if you don't have enough equity, if you're not getting enough margin each month from your tenants, making enough money, and something, God forbid, happens. Because we saw during COVID, people got slaughtered, man. Just like in '08, people got slaughtered, man.
The
I'm
scary
at that
part, I
point right
think,
now.
my bad. I think the
I'm at
scary
that
part.
point right now.
You said what?
I said I'm at that point right now, like where I'm strategizing on how I'm gonna make the next move. Like, far as using income that I already receive
Yeah.
and how I could get a, DSCR loan or whatever, and maybe buying something that needs a lot of work or whatever, or buying it for a lower price and way lower than what they wanted for or whatever,
Yeah.
and fixing that up, and then either selling it or buying holding it, and
Yeah.
then putting a lien on it, and then cash out, refinance it, then do it again. So I'm just looking at all the different ways that I could do it without having a job. My fault,
That's
Gerard.
the
Yeah.
that's DSCR all day.
Right. Now, I was just saying the scary part to this whole thing is when you talk about buying retail, buying wholesale, is the wholesale literally looks way different than the retail.
Yes.
And 90% of the people when they see what the wholesale look like, they don't want no parts of it. They cringe.
Yeah.
And they walk away from it, but they don't understand that's where the money is. That's where the what do you call it? That's the pot under the rainbow right there. Like, buy the ugliest house in the nicest neighborhood. Like that should be the strategy. But
Right.
like you said, social media, HGTV. I want to buy something turnkey. I'll tell you another one, right? A lot of people ain't gonna like this one. The contractors, King. The contractors, people are terrified of contractors, and a lot of the contractors don't help themselves either. Like, you know what I mean?
Me too. I'm terrified of them.
Bro, from price gouging to there's no trust with contractors,
Right.
with the consumer and the contractor. So I feel like a buyer shouldn't have to go into the market, look at a house that need work, and say, I don't want to deal with contractors.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So I think we gotta bridge that gap somehow. You know what I mean? And give these first time home buyers, these people that are just coming into the market, that I don't want to say security, but a little bit of reassurance that it's okay to buy the ugly house. It's okay to get that renovation loan and fix it up. With a renovation loan, you control the equity in a sense. You set a budget. Right. You say, I don't want to go over this budget. What can I get done for this budget? And then that's it. You might have $50,000 worth of equity going into it that you just saved yourself, as opposed to paying retail where you have none. Right? So now we're looking at 50-year mortgages and all of this stuff, to try to make it affordable. But meanwhile, that ugly house is sitting right there down the street and you don't even want to touch it. So you got to pick a side, man. What do you want, man? You can't have it all.
Those conversations are tough sometimes. Like you're talking to some people, and they're like, "I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that." And listen, your preference is your preference, but I mean, reality is reality, right? You can't afford it. So why not play the game that everybody else is playing and buy at the low end? Take your time and even if, like you said, if it's something that can't pass traditional financing for you to get it financed, right, and insured, you could do a renovation loan. You lock everything in at that point, and you get it renovated, and get it renovated to the point where it's still going to it's not going to cost you a ton, right? You don't got to do $70,000-$80,000 renovation. Do something where you can make the house livable, nice, whatever, and take your time to do the rest of the renovations on your own dime. So now you can build that equity in your property, like Gerard was saying. So now you can have a situation to where, guess what? That home is worth $500,000, that $500,000, $700,000. They bought it at the peak of the market. I bought this $300,000 home. I renovated it. Now it's fully rental. Guess what? It's worth $500,000, $700,000 like the other home. Same square footage, same layout, blah, blah, blah. Right? Brand new. Then buying that home that's already at the top of the market, and you there's nowhere to go from there.
I want to add to that. So even with that, right? Say if you make the house livable, it's not a lot of things that you got to do. It's certain programs as well that will replace like the windows, the roof, the boilers, the furnaces up to a 4 unit. So
Yeah. It's called a PACE loan down here.
Say it again.
It's called a PACE loan down here.
Oh yeah, but no, like the program I'm talking about is free.
It's a grant.
It's just to help, because this was in Hartford, so it's to help the houses or the neighborhood look better, and make people want to buy houses or whatever in Hartford.
Got it. So the money is free.
Yeah. They just as long as it's livable. Like they'll do the other parts, the other things that you need. Like they'll help out. They'll give you the money for it.
Got it. Because our program is going to go on your taxes, right? It goes on your taxes. So it'll be.
That's Florida.
Yeah, it'll be added to your taxes, which, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it like the ugly duck, because a lot of people don't like property because of the way it looks, right? I'm like, what? You can paint a wall, you can switch your windows, you can make things look nice. Like if it's your layout and everything you like, the size, what's the problem with just putting a little sweat equity into it, just to make sure that you're not over leveraging yourself, which, unfortunately, for the foreclosures in the country have been ticking up right now because a lot of it happens, is over leverage, right? You're buying at the peak of the market, and that's why it's not a good idea. I'm gonna wait for the market to turn. Yeah, you're gonna pay more. You're gonna buy at the peak of the market like everybody did after COVID, right when COVID was like ending. They bought at the peak, and now they're like, oh, I can't do a Earl, I can't refinance, I can't do FHA stream. Yeah, because you bought at the peak of the market, and there has been no equity, so your value just literally stayed right there or creeped up a tiny bit. But you got that DPA, you got all that stuff that killed your equity when you didn't want to go to your 401k or borrow the money if you had the chance to make sure that you can keep that equity and be able to take advantage of the rates when they fall.
Yo,
So yeah, man. I don't know. It was a weird pause just now.
I know.
Yeah. I was waiting for Mike.
Yeah.
I'm letting y'all have it, man.
Nah.
I listen. I'm learning. I hear y'all. I'm learning.
Hey, way to stay on top of things, Mikey. You're all right.
My bad. I was doing the social media, the behind the scenes things.
Okay, what they said
But since
about you.
listen, since we had this little pause right here, man, let me give a shout out to the Connecticut Men's Conference they got going on this Saturday, November 15th, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 or to 4 p.m. Down at the Q House, man. Let me just read join the community from across Connecticut for a day of inspiration, brotherhood, and growth. Experience engaging workshops, powerful speakers, and real conversations that build health, wealth, and unity. Right, so they're pretty much having like a men's conference where they're breaking pretty much similar things that we talk about here on the podcast. They have a financial workshop,
Nice.
real estate, talk about mental health as well. Brother Malcolm is the one that sent me this. I'll definitely be attending as much as I can that Saturday. But definitely shout them out. Definitely go ahead and hit that. If you need somewhere to go, something that's positive in your life for a good Saturday morning, check them out this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Q House. I'll drop the link in the
Can Secure the Bag
conversation.
attend?
Can that Saturday? I'm gonna be there. Yeah.
I'm talking about can Secure the Bag attend, like logo, banners.
They already got
talking.
everything already programmed and set up already. All that. Yeah.
All right.
Where y'all want to take it? Do y'all want to stick with the 50 years? You ready to move to the to Fannie Mae?
Wherever you go, host.
Look, this y'all topic. Y'all let me know what y'all want to do. I'll let y'all go. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of off. I wasn't paying attention as much. All right, man. So we'll just jump into the Fannie Mae, man. Fannie Mae, they recently, Gerard, this is definitely your lane, my brother. You wanted to hit this conversation, man. So they dropped the no credit score, right? So does that mean like, hey, I could just buy a house without worried about any type of debt that I have or anything? Like, what does it mean to not worry about a credit score?
All right. Secondly, this is not my wheelhouse. This is Jason's wheelhouse.
Oh, that's him too? Oh, my bad.
I just pay rent
It's okay.
here.
Don't nerd out on us.
I just pay rent here. You know what I'm saying?
My bad.
But I thought it's crazy. I thought it sounds crazy. No minimum credit score requirement sounds real crazy, but I don't think it is what people think it is. I think you still got to have some qualifications, and it's not like, okay, you get a 400 credit score and you could go buy $1 million house. That is not what it is. I can promise you that. But I'm gonna digress and pass it on to my mortgage brother and let him dive into that because that's his thing.
Yeah. So
Ready, set, go, Jason.
No, that was actually a lot of people. I was looking at social media, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, I can buy whatever I want." And I'm like, "Nah, it's not going to work like that, right? You can't have bad credit and expect somebody to lend you $500,000 when your credit score is 400. But what it's going to do, they're going to take a more holistic look. They said, right? Holistic. They're going to look at the credit, income, assets, your liabilities, your LTV, what you're putting down. And so when we run, so for everybody out there that don't know, when you say you get pre-approved, right? Or you go to a bank and you have everything, you're like, man, I'm borderline. And that system is called a DU, desktop underwriter, and you don't get approved because you think you can approve. The it's based all mortgages are based on risk when you're talking about conforming loans, traditional, FHA, VA, conventional financing, right? And when you're doing that, it's a risk-based system. What they're saying that they're going to do is take the risk-based system, give some leeway without the credit score, and take a more holistic look at all those other factors to better qualify more people for the loan, right? But it's a situation to where I'm not a big fan of conventional all the time, and I hate when realtors say we don't take conventional just because they don't want to do an FHA appraisal because it lasts 6 months, right? Because FHA is a better loan for the majority of low income people to take advantage of that loan. So when they push you into a conventional loan, one, FHA has a fixed mortgage insurance premium, right? Conventional doesn't. So it's all risk based. If you have that low credit score, say your mortgage insurance for FHA is going to be $100, and you go to Fannie, and that credit score is really low, that risk base is going to take that credit score from that 100 and it's probably going to put it like 250, 275, depending on where you at, right? Because all risk based. So you got to take that in consideration. Is it going to work for some people? Yes, it's like the 50-year mortgage. It's going to be beneficial to some people. It's going to open some doors. Some people are going to take advantage of the system, and then they're going to have to redo the whole thing again because they're going to mess it up for everybody else. But like Gerard said, it's not going to be something where everybody's going to be like, I can just buy anything, because it's still going to be risk-based. If you have a low credit score, you don't make enough income, you don't have any assets, it's not most likely going to be the loan for you. And you might have to take another alternative route and just go FHA, hopefully your VA, and you can use your VA loan and go the more conservative route and easier to qualify for.
Hey
'cause
Jay,
it has more leeway.
ain't it true? So, and I don't know if you said this or not, but it's usually like the lower the credit score, the more money you got to put down.
Correct,
Like,
correct. So it's all risk based. So and another thing also, that might not work for every lender. We have this thing in our industry called overlays. So overlay is basically the secondary market say, hey, FHA is a 580 minimum credit score. Conventional was a 620 minimum credit score. But the lender who you're going to might say, we have an overlay of that. Our minimum FHA is 620, not 580. I was at some lenders who actually had those overlays where they would not do the 580 credit scores. And the reason was, when I spoke to an executive, is that we don't want to clog our pipeline up with low credit scores. Now we're taking 30, 45, 60 days to close these loans. They're clogging the pipeline up. They're bad loans. They're harder to sell off. They're probably going to have an EPO where, within the first 6 months, they're probably going to default on it. So they go with the higher credit score. So now you still got to worry about those lenders who have those overlays. So it's not going to be as easy as people think it's going to be. Work on your credit, work on your assets, and just try to be as clean as you possibly can when you're purchasing a home, because the issues coming in is too many unprepared borrowers are trying to purchase homes, and they're forcing themselves into the to home ownership, and it's hurting people sometimes, losing deposits, can't verify income, don't have enough income. It's just crazy because they're unprepared.
and I'm sorry guys, but there's something that I wanted to touch on that you mentioned, Jason, is so we deal with in our industry.
Mhm.
A lot of people they frown upon FHA loans.
Correct.
They look at FHA loans as if you are a less qualified buyer. The government is going to come into my listing and make me make all of these repairs. Less qualified buyer, meaning you have a lower credit score, You don't have the cash, and you're taking FHA because of the type of person, the type of buyer you are, right? They make it real personal, and
Yeah.
It's messed up. Number one, like you just said, Jason, sometimes FHA is just the better way to go. You could, and correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, FHA has better interest rates than conventional does.
Always do.
Right. So I gotta go conventional because you feel like I need to do that to satisfy you, Mr. or Mrs. listing agent and seller. I had a client, and I don't want to say the deal fell through, but the buyer changed his mind on the house. Like, you know what I mean? Like they liked the house, put the offer in, and then the buyer just changed their mind. They had I don't want to say cold feet. They just realized that they didn't want the house. This wasn't the house for them. And the agent goes off on this tangent, and she put it in writing too. I should put it up. I should put her out there.
Don't do that.
All you FHA buyers are the same. I knew it. Yeah, King. Yeah, it got real. It got real. And I'm like, like what are you talking about? Listen, I'll tell you right now. 90% of my buyers are FHA buyers, and I close them all. You know what I mean? At the closing table, the money's green. So, if you advising your clients to put these houses on the market with things that might not pass inspection, shame on you. Like, why, if one of the things FHA looks at is chip and paint and handrails. You about to make $300,000, $400,000.
Yes.
Paint, paint, so I tell my clients, my sellers, why would you limit your buyer pool just because you don't want to paint? Why would you limit your buyer pool because you don't want to paint and you worried about somebody coming through and flagging paint? And you're trying to sell the house for top dollar, right? So what does that say about you, Mr., Mrs., I don't like FHA buyers? You want to sell this house for top dollar knowing it got chip and paint, knowing it's missing a handrail, knowing you got bad GFI outlets.
Finally, a realtor go off on other realtors.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. You done?
Ooh,
you done?
I'm done.
Bro.
I'm done. I had to get that off my chest.
Like, the same reason why those agents feel like that about FHA buyers is the same reason why they need to fix the shit in the house. Like, I never sold a house yet. I didn't have sellers yet, but everything my buyers looked at and they was like, nah, I'm good. Now I know when I get a seller, now I know, listen, what I need to know what needs to be done. I'm doing a inspection before the inspection. I'm having them pay for inspection before the inspection. So we know the list of things that need to be done and we're gonna get it done. Like, I think that's the dumbest thing to have chip and paint. The roof about to cave in, the house is horrible. And you still trying to sell it, you trying to get somebody to buy it for 450,000 to 600,000. You think somebody gonna spend their money on that? That's crazy. Like, so now I went through all kind of houses. So now I know if I get a seller like, listen, we painting the whole house. We getting it. We might get the house power wash. We're gonna clean up. We're gonna get the landscaping done. Like, we're gonna do certain things. So when they come in, like, it don't look like a dungeon. It don't look dirty and like you ain't dusting the house in a long time, because they be trying to sell these houses and think somebody gonna want to buy it because they really want to buy a house. No, they want to buy a house that's in. Their houses be smelling crazy. Oh man, me and my client walked in the house. We walked in the house and we both looked at each other. We said, we out. Because, like, why, if you want somebody to buy a house, at least clean up, do a deep cleaning, you know what I mean? Make the house smell good. You know what I mean? Like, people want to smell the house smelling good so they can picture themselves being in the house. They don't want to picture themselves in the house and it smell crazy, it look crazy, the floor dirty, the walls dirty. Come on. Listen, you sellers got to do better. Please. If you want our buyers to buy your house, do better. This ain't a shot at chop, but this is a shot at chop.
Yo, but it's
How you want it.
sometimes it ain't even the seller. Sometimes it's the listing agents. 90% of the
Listen,
time it's the listing
it's
agent.
both of them.
But-
It's both of them. The seller wants to sell their house. They found an agent.
But
I know
sometimes they
what
don't
you're
know
saying.
no better.
You right.
Sometimes,
You right somewhat.
Yeah. You got look.
they need
You got to. Hey, if something go wrong, who they gonna blame? The professional, right?
They need the agent.
So it's all
But that's
going
why
on
they
the
need it.
professional.
That's why they need to get with you, because your company offers the option to basically fix the house up for free in the beginning. Then they pay at the end at the closing table.
You remember that, huh? You remember
Come
that?
on, man.
Okay.
I take notes. I got receipts.
So Jay, let me. So it's two things, right? I'll give you an example. I just had a borrower. We just closed on a condo, FHA condo, SUA, right? And she was a highly qualified borrower. I mean, she was at like 175. She had about 230,000 just in her savings account, whatever, her checking, 800 credit score. She said, I don't want to put a lot of money down. I want to buy the condo that I live in. I want to do it for the least amount of money out of pocket. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not sitting there trying to sell her something else. She knows what she wants. And she's a highly qualified borrower. She could have put 15, 20% down, got a conventional with no mortgage insurance. Okay, she didn't want that, right? FHA is a good loan for her. One, she can more than make the payment, right? It's a $300,000 house. She can more than make the payment, cover the HOA fees, and come out the pocket with a little money. And we got her DPA, FHA on a condo. So she was happy, and she got money back in her pocket after because of the way we structured the deal, right? She got like $5-6 grand back. So sometimes that's why in our industry, when people make statements without knowing the actual situation, it doesn't make any sense because everybody's situation is different, right? Then the other thing, I'm not a realtor, right? I just been doing this shit for a long time, right? Owning properties, fixing them up, flip, whatever, right? So I do have a problem when I used to go to open houses, and there's only a few of them, and you do an open house and you're like, why would you list this property and have an open house where this thing is dirty? Is not, bro, you just paint the house white. I tell everybody, paint the damn house white. Get everything here is no wood floors here, really. Everything is tile. Get a pressure cleaner with a freaking squeegee, pressurize the grout and everything. Like, why would you sell the house like that? Because you're setting yourself up for failure. Am I wrong, fellas? Like, are you buying? You go into a house and it looks nasty. It stinks. The lawn is messed up. Like, there's so many houses I go into, and I'm sitting here like, why would you list this property like this? Like, tell the seller to, okay, if it's a distressed somebody, single mother, whatever, they got to get out. Okay, but most of these people are just, I want the highest amount of money back I can get. I'm not giving any seller concessions, and I want to sell this crap for the highest dollar amount. And it's like, yo, no, but and the houses just sit on the market 60, 90, 120 days.
Right.
We offer them less, 50,000 less.
And that's the thing. If your house is in that condition, the price got to reflect it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? If you can't expect to get 50, 100,000. Oh, a bidding war this, a bidding war that. Yeah, but you got dog shit in your front yard. like yo, you gotta handle that. You gotta handle that, big dog.
And I have iPhone pictures on the MLS.
Yeah, right. Oh no.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
a red flag. That's a big red flag. You buyers out there, when the pictures aren't professional, red flag.
Yeah. I'm gonna
listen.
I want to
Real
give
quick.
I want to give you one more. What's up?
Go ahead.
I just want to give you one more. It was probably about 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Spring break, spring market, right? I'm out. A lot of showings, a lot of offers. I think I had 6 offers out, and 6 different bidding wars, 6 different properties, a couple different clients. Literally got shot down, and it was all FHA. I got shot down on all of them. But listen, I got to take this vacation with the family real quick. We had planned. When I come back, we'll go back out looking. I'm sitting on the beach with my wife, and my phone start going bananas. First call. Hey, is your client still interested? The deal we had fell through. Wait, then you went with a conventional buyer, right? Yeah. They backed out of the deal because they didn't like the sconce on the porch or something. You know, during the inspection, they found out that the sconce on the porch didn't work, and so deal felt, all right, I'll talk to my client. Let me see. Before I could call my client, the phone rings again. Hey, is your client still interested in such and such street? And I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? All the deals that they, shot us down because there was FHA, all wind up calling back on the same day. I'm not making this up. They all wind up calling back. So now my client got leverage. She could pick whatever house she want.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so I said that to say, just because it's conventional don't necessarily mean it's going to close. You still got to deal with some of the same stuff. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to tell that story, and that's a true story.
Yeah, the FHA saved those deals.
100%. They can't. They didn't want to deal with it, but then they came back crawling.
Yo, so I had somebody on my live. They asked, can somebody break down what PMI is? Because a lot of people don't understand.
So PMI is PMI, private mortgage insurance, which you have on the conventional side, and then mortgage insurance, which you have on the FHA side. So mortgage insurance for the FHA side is a fixed cost, right? It's 0.55, and it's insurance you pay just in case something happens to the property, right? These really started coming into effect when the market crashed and the credit risk from the lenders. Now the lenders have the ability to insure the property to protect them if the property goes into foreclosure.
Is it physically insure the property, or is it insuring the mortgage?
It's insuring the mortgage.
Right,
so
okay.
only people who are going to get paid for that is the lender. You get nothing from that. You got them sovereignty citizens who try to fight they try to fight this stuff, but it's for the lender. You get none of that, right? Then you have on the conventional side where you have private mortgage insurance. Well, let me go back to the FHA. I'm sorry. FHA is private. It is basically just FHA. It's for every FHA file, right? One place. You go to the conventional side. Now you have private mortgage insurance where you have multiple companies that you can choose your private and mortgage insurance company to insure you can use to insure the property for the bank. And you can choose whichever one. Usually in our systems for the majority of my lenders, usually if you're a retail lender, you can choose which one. But for us, the lowest cost always comes up, and we use that lowest cost to insure the borrower. So it's different from homeowners insurance, which is HOI, homeowners insurance, that protects you and the home, God forbid something happens. Mortgage insurance protects the bank in case of a default, so they can make sure they don't get into a credit situation. They can get their money back and not lose money like it was during the crash.
So Jay, I know we've been talking about, obviously, mortgage protection and whatnot on like an insurance side.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's like someone should have both? Like, let's say they get it for the mortgage itself, like through the mortgage company. Excuse me. Versus, buying a life insurance policy and using that as a mortgage protection. Um, do you feel like there's any type of conflict between the two, or should somebody do both, or one over the other?
I'm a private person, right? I'm privatized. I don't want anything through the lender because this is the problem, right? Whenever you do things through somebody else, it's benefiting them more than it's benefiting you, right? So they'll be like, blah blah blah, whatever happens, but no, get private insurance so God forbid something happens or the money builds up in that policy, me and my family are going to benefit from the full value of that policy, not just a portion of it once these things are paid off. And you can get more on the private side also.
Well, I think Mike, the misunderstanding is that PMI and the mortgage insurance that he's talking about, you're not the beneficiary of it. The bank is.
Correct.
So so yes, you need you need to take out a policy like that. You get what I'm saying? You need a policy that protects you. The PMI and the mortgage insurance doesn't. It protects the bank.
It protects the bank
Yeah.
in case of default. Yeah,
Makes sense.
but go private, man. Go private, and call Mike if you're gonna do that too. If you're in Connecticut.
Yeah. So do we feel like, I kind of jumping back, I know we kind of got off topic just a little bit. Do we feel like pretty much removing the credit score, like does it help level the playing field, or does it make more lenders take like a bigger risk?
Say that one more time, Mike. I didn't really
Do
make
we
them.
feel like removing the credit score, like right with what Fannie Mae is doing, does that help the like level the playing field out, or does it make like the lenders take more of a like a risk?
So I think it's kind of like smoke and mirrors almost because that same risk based system is there now.
Mm,
What they're going to do is say, hey, we can get a couple extra people probably qualified. Let's remove the credit score and make it actually risk based. So now when it's actually risk based, they can say, hey, listen, we have no scores. You got to find six. Look, you don't qualify because you're a risk to us, right? You're too risky based on our algorithm and our system. And that's all it really is. So you should prepare. If you're gonna buy a home, if you're thinking about buying a home, I tell everybody, the moment you think you're going to buy a home, and especially now, everybody should be getting pre-qualified. Everybody should be talking to a mortgage loan officer or somebody. Call me. I don't care what state you in. I deal with so many different states. I do a lot of investment properties in other states. Call me. Let's just sit down. We'll have a conversation. I don't need to pull your credit or anything. We can just discuss what's going on, and that's the problem: is that people are not properly prepared, man. They're just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy a home." They go to a first-time home buyer event and they go buy a home. They get pre-qualified and go buy a home, and they're not qualified. They got to do DPA. They got to do government programs. They got to do all this stuff. They got to pay for insurance. They got to pay for inspection. I'm sorry, you pay for insurance, pay for inspection, pay for the appraisal. All this money coming out, and they're not properly prepared. So yeah, I think if you're going to go conventional, just have a 620 or better score. If you don't, then you can run the risk in the
It's
system and see
it's
what it
it's,
spits out
it's,
to
it's
you.
easier and cleaner with that 620 credit score.
Correct.
And and Mike, to answer your question again, everybody is different. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it really depends on who the person is and what it is they're trying to accomplish. But I think what Jason's saying, I don't think nobody's recommending anybody with a 400 to go buy a house. Like
No.
you get what I'm saying? Like you gotta invest in that score a little bit to give yourself some better terms, to put yourself in a better position. But the one thing I will say that I don't think Jason touched on is we're talking Fannie Mae, right? So a lot of the Fannie Mae products was they have a 1% down conventional, a 3% down conventional,
Correct.
5% down conventional, and a 10% down conventional, all first time home buyer products. So with the getting rid of the minimum credit score, you're not getting a 1%, a 3%, or maybe even not even a 5% with a
Yeah.
subpar credit score. It's
Yeah,
just
but-
not going to
but-
happen. So that's why Jason was like, it might be kind of smoke and mirrors.
And a lot of that is when you're talking about the 1% and 3%, that's all home ready, home possible type of deals where you gotta go with the median area income. You can't make a certain amount of money, so that's gonna cause a issue. Also, because it's twofold, right? And this is where it gets crazy because they were trying to get us to do the 1%. And I don't know if anybody from Florida here, loan officer, realtor, do a 1%. Let me know. But it's kind of hard, right? I think our medium area income right now went up to like 70,000, right? If you make 70,000 or less, you probably can't afford a home down here, right? Most likely you can't afford a home in Miami. So it's like, it's like it's like twofold. Like, okay, I can get the program, but I can't afford a home. Because if you can afford a condo, guess what? You got 7, 8, 9. I got a condo now that I just went under contract with today. You got $700, $800 in just association fees. So if you can't afford, it becomes harder once you add that HOA fee in. So you just have to work on everything. You got to work on your income. Now you got to work on your assets, and then you need to work on that credit score to make sure you're getting in the best situation possible. And take advantage of like the real programs that'll help you out.
Oh, before we continue, I want to shout out to my last client. She was saving for her home for 3 years. She was working two jobs. She was having a account, have the money go to account just for the house. And she was budgeting well, kept her payments down. She had like, low debt. She wanted to get a new car, but she didn't get a new car, and she did it the right way. And she also got a program that gave her $18,000 towards her closing costs. So we Jason was talking about planning, budgeting, doing all those different things, having the right credit score, not having a lot of debt. So I just want to shout out to her because she did all those different things. If you want the process of buying a property or becoming a homeowner or a landlord, you need to start fixing your credit today. You need to start saving your money. You need to put money away for the house. You need to put money away for the closing costs. Do it now. Don't wait till you go to the first time home buyer program and then decide you want to become a homeowner. Decide 2 to 3 years earlier, so when the time presents itself, you're ready to go, and you don't got to go fix your credit. You don't got to worry about the down payment assistance program, even though you can use it, but you don't got to depend on it.
Yeah, Gerard, I say this all the time is that most people don't, and I don't want to say most people, but a majority of people don't want to buy a home until they're forced to buy a home, until rents become ridiculously high. So most people don't plan, right? So since they're not planning, when they get told, hey, this mortgage going up $800 because my insurance skyrocketed, my taxes skyrocketed, I gotta increase this, right? And now they're gonna be out on the streets because they didn't plan to purchase a home, save any money or anything like that. If they have the ability, because if you don't have the ability to do so, then you just don't have the ability to purchase a home, But the people who do, that lack of planning is what leads to a lot of the chaos that's going on right now.
So, if y'all was sitting down with a client or even a friend that was just sitting there just having a regular conversation, man, somebody that has like, you know, I think Gerard might have answered this earlier, but like medium credit, they kind of all right, could do a lot better, but they have really good income. What would be some things you would tell them to check on before, applying under the new rule of like a no credit score?
I wouldn't tell them to go to the no credit score. We're going to do FHA. If they're a first time home buyer, that's the route I'm going to take. Because to be honest, you can run the other scenario, which we do if it makes sense. I always look and see, okay, what makes sense, what they're looking for. That's why the consultation is so important to nail, because you'll figure out what the client's thinking, what they're looking for, then you can give them the options if they want it. But most of the time, unless they're savvy, unless they have the money and they understand, I don't want to refinance again. It's going to be my only property. I don't want to wait 11 years, 12 years for my mortgage insurance to fall off on the FHA side. They're going to probably say conventional, but everybody else, the majority, they're going to do FHA. It just makes more sense right now, especially if the 50-year term comes around. It's just going to make more sense financially.
Yeah.
Because the score is important. Like, I don't really care about the score too much, right? My issue is the income and the assets. That's where the issue comes in. We could go down to a 580 credit score. So that's not really the problem. Still, like, I'm a broker, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I ain't no shot to nobody else out there. I'm a
Talk
broker.
that talk,
I,
Jack.
I,
Talk
can
that
have, I
talk.
got, you can have a 580 or 600 credit score. We're still going to get a good interest rate. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. But somebody with a 617 and she was in the low sixes, high fives. So it really, it really doesn't matter at that point. But the assets and the income is very important to be able to even qualify for the home. That's the part that we're having an issue with, is affordability right now.
Yeah, I agree. You got to sit down. You just got to sit down and work it out and strategize. Have like Jason said, have that conversation. The main thing is, let's see where you're at and let's see what it's going to take to get you where you need to be. And 9 times out of 10, like, so for example, Mike, if Jason run the credit and he's like, yo, you a couple points short, right? We might can't make a move. All right, well, listen, we might have to pay this off or handle this or da 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 in order to get you up. We could try again in 60 days or whatever. After you take care of these things, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's what has to happen. Sometimes you gotta have a professional, take a look at the credit to figure out what needs to be done in order to get you, where you need to be.
Yeah, we have rapid rescore also. So if it's just a credit issue and you're close enough, we can pull a report on rapid rescore and see what we need to pay off. And then within a week, man, for most credit bureaus, we can get that score up and get you financed. Get the ball rolling. So consultation is important. Speaking to a professional is important. Don't lie, say everything. We need to know everything, because the worst thing to happen is that listen, and this happens all the time. The underwriter you cannot lie. They will find out whatever you're hiding. We will find out in underwriting. And on our side as the lender, if we love working with good realtors who understand that, because at the end of the day, we can only go based off of what we see and what they tell us. Any unknowns, we can't figure out an unknown. Sometimes, to be honest, I can figure it out because I've been doing it so long. I'm like, something else is going on. I speak to my processor, and once we agree, we go back, we circle back. But sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know what's going on. So the most honest you are and transparent you are with your realtor and loan officer, the easier the process will be, because then we can fix things before it goes to the underwriter. Once the underwriter gets uncomfortable, it's over. Like listen, we put files in clean as possible, because if it's sloppy, it's missing so many things, like the underwriter's gonna be like, they're gonna condition the crap out of you, man. And you're gonna sit there with like 30, 40 conditions and be like, but you clean it up, you put everything in there, make it nice, label everything, man, you come back with like 5 conditions and like 3 of them are title and appraisal, and you good. So you really should speak to somebody, sit down, and really get off of social media listening to some of this stuff, because I ain't gonna lie to you, some of your favorite gurus and stuff, they putting out bullshit, man. Like this, like it just doesn't make everybody. Down payment assistance for most people, when you're talking about the 18,000 that King just said, 40, 50,000, that's not true. Most people don't qualify for that, because that's for lower income people, right? If you want the 3%, 5% down, there's a lot of lenders that offer that without any income. Without any income limitations or anything like that. But most of that crap that they're saying, very few people qualify for those programs. So it will behoove you to work on your credit and everything to get everything.
Yo, good. Jason talking his talk today, King.
He ain't lying.
He on what today, man?
Yo, so I want to ask this question, man. This question is definitely going to bring us to next week's topic. So let's just keep it light. We ain't want to dive too deep right now. Just quick little. Let me get your opinion.
You can't do that, bro. You lay it up. We gonna take it home. You already know.
All right. So you got 2 options, right? So if you had to choose, we're kind of bringing it back to almost like this 50-year mortgage almost, or not even 50-year mortgage. It's more about mortgage in general. But if you want to pay, let's say $700 more a month for 30 years. Or would you rather take that same $700 and invest it for the long term? Which one y'all choosing? So we're talking about paying off the house early, or investing.
I don't think we should answer it. I think we should wait till next week. Don't answer it.
Yeah, I'll leave a cliffhanger, man. I ain't paying no damn house off early.
King, what you doing?
I'm not paying it off either. I'm not paying the house off early either, because I'm trying to get more houses. I can't focus on this one house when I'm trying to do more things. That's gonna hold me back.
Cool, that makes sense. All right, so we left the cliffhanger, and we'll definitely come back to that question. Fellas, anything else y'all want to hit for the people, man? I feel like we definitely at a good point right now. Any last thoughts y'all want to drop on the folks?
Nah, I'll say, yo, have the conversations. Again, you don't gotta go, in this through this process alone, right? You got some You got good people around you. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this podcast, everybody up here is knowledgeable. Everybody up here is going to be able to help you. Yo, talk to a professional and don't try to figure it out on your own. I'm not saying don't do your research. Do your research, but you don't got to figure it out on your own. I had a guy go to ChatGPT asking about the earnest money deposit, and he comes back. He says, "Can you waive your earnest money deposit?" Nah. I said legally it could be as low as $1, but it don't work like that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying sometimes researching on your own, it's not going to tell you the actual factuals. You feel me? So, don't be afraid to have the conversations with a professional.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Gerard just said. Like, do your research. I love it. I want you to bring me all the material you possibly can find, so we can go through it all together. So we can, we can debunk some myths and rumors and crap out there, and we can really see what's really going on. I'm not, I probably got to get better at social media and getting back to the education part of it. But let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. I have a lot of happy clients who I was able to help through the years, who I'm helping now, and it's been an amazing 2025 going into 2026, and we're able to really educate those who want to be educated, and we're able to take them to another level. And sometimes it's not the right time for you to buy right now, right? So you might need a little more time to get your things in order, but we're going to be transparent. We're going to be honest with you, and do your research, and then come, and then I can tell you why this works, why that doesn't work, why this is wrong, why this is right. And it's just better for you to know the whole situation, and along with the 50-year mortgage also. Like, because you don't like a person, don't just discard what people are saying.
Yes, sir. Brother King, what you got?
So I'm gonna say, stop waiting to the last minute to do something. If you want to accomplish a goal, you do it 6 months to a year before the time really comes. Like, plan for it. Like, write it down. Say, January 2027, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. Have a list. Start checking the things off the list. Like, if you move like that, if you set a goal, especially if you have a partner or a teammate, the more you both do together, the faster you accomplish the goal. Like, I'm gonna add this in there. Me and my wife purchased 2 houses in less than 2 years of each other. And I could do whatever I can do by myself because I am me, and she can do whatever she could do by herself because she's her. But when we get together and we work together towards a goal, we accomplish a goal ASAP. I'd be like, damn, didn't you just do this? Like, you just spoke about this, it's done already. So get smart, stop trying to do things on your own, stop trying to be a strong black woman. If you got a man that wants to work with you to accomplish the goals, listen, get together, have a plan, sit down with each other. Even if you got to do, like, get together every Saturday and plan on what you want to do together, work it out. And I'm telling you, you could accomplish things way faster than you could do on your own. The average person in America don't even buy a house. I'm showing you and telling you step by step how me and my wife got 2 houses in less than 2 years. That's what I got. And matter of fact, after the podcast, I'm about to make a video. I'm gonna upload it right after this. I got some other gems I got for you guys. So tune in.
Yo, King, I love you, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I never heard don't be a strong black woman.
Nah, because they be trying to do it by themselves. That's dumb. Especially if you got a man in your life or somebody in your life that want to build with you and that want to create something, a family, a legacy, or whatever. You don't got to do it alone. My wife could have did it alone. I could have did it alone, but it took me longer. It took her longer.
Teamwork is so underrated, bro. Teamwork is so underrated, bro.
Yeah.
I understand you move quicker when you with a group, man. Like, you do, bro. Like, it's just, you just can accomplish more.
Yo, King.
Right. Everybody play their part.
King is definitely, yo, I told him before, yo, he my spirit animal. He just don't know it, man. Yo, he say a lot of the stuff I can't get out. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be a strong like independent.
Nah, for real, man. Like it's cool, but sometimes people don't even want to be strong all the time. They're forced to. They have to. But sometimes if you got a partner, y'all put y'all backs against each other, man. Y'all just grind and get it done. It's easier. I'm showing, and listen, I got some stuff that's about to go in the next couple of months. I'm gonna show you that I'm not just talking. I'm living it. That's the difference. I'm telling you what I'm gonna do, then I'm doing it. And you're like, damn, you did that? Yeah. Now it's gonna be less than 3 years. I did this, that, and the third. Yeah, I see. Pay attention, man. We're making dreams reality. Secure the bag.
Let's go. Let's go.
Drop my music.
You going too far now. I was letting you rock out. I was letting you rock
I was
out.
about to hit it too. I swear I was.
You better not.
Again, Mike.
You
My
better,
fault. I apologize.
Hey, don't make me tear this shit up.
Yeah, Mike.
I don't even know if I want to go after King.
You can't.
No,
You
go, you
can't.
good.
You're right. I'm gonna just go ahead and just do the intro. Hey, I'm your host, Mike Evans, and listen, don't just chase the bag, secure it. Take what you learned tonight and put it in motion. We are your 4 entrepreneurial cousins, Gerard, Gibson, Jason Benton, and that brother King Darius Bay, Gerard's spirit animal. Catch us every Wednesday night, same time, same energy, 7 p.m. We'll see y'all next week, giving y'all more. See y'all. Peace.
Beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, move G. Anything to get a buck. You won't find me in the club. I'm in the lab trying to sharpen up the sword. Swinging blades at these scrubs. Bitches flock like bugs to the light. Getting right. Treat my hoes like these raps. I don't really got a type. Off top, bullshitting. All I needed was a mic. Yeah. Hey, pass the rock, it's all butter. Pack your bags and take flight. Don't worry, it's all covered. Hey, live your life while you can. Our days are all numbered. Rain could cause thunder, but the sun comes after, clearing up the disaster.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody days a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Yeah.